Hello and welcome to my wildlife pond in my garden. In this video I'm going to be giving you a little tour of what I've got going on here, what I've got growing, how I developed it, and telling you why having a wildlife pond, no matter how big or small in your garden, is probably the most single important thing you can do for wildlife. So come on in and join me. So here is the pond. As you can see, it's pretty much a triangle in shape. It's a bit of a wasted piece of land at the side of my house. I do have some blueberries and blackberry bushes there growing, but the main thing is we can look at it from the conservatory there, so we can see everything that's going on, which is lovely. Just give you a little tour of what I've got at the side of the pond, which is equally as important. I've got the composter there, but importantly I've got a log pile, as you can see, and I've got at the back there some spare rocks I've turned into a little rock cave. So the purpose of the log pile is it gives good habitat. Obviously insects, I've got some large stumps there which is submerged into the soil, nice and damp. They're going to encourage beetles, woodlice. So apart from having their own little colony going on, it's a good food source for amphibians and birds that want to visit the wildlife pond. It's also a good place to cover because there's lots of nooks and crannies, so any emerging frogs can come out, they can take cover there. Likewise with the rock cave over there, it's got a couple of different ways in and out. Obviously in the summer that's going to be a nice cool place. The rock will give good cover and shade. And just following it along here, this section you can see here is my wildflower meadow. I cut this back probably end of November last year. We're February now, and they've got as high as the bird bath there, so this will all be regrowing back. I have put a few extra seeds in, so again this is good habitat, good cover, hunting ground, obviously very good for the pollinators, the bees and butterflies that I like to have in the garden as well, which also use the wildlife pond obviously for drinking. So it's all these little things added together to make a lovely little habitat. And obviously up there is the waterfall from my stream going to my fish pond, which you've all seen in many a video. So back to the pond. So let's start off at the shallow end of the wildlife pond. This is the pebble beach. As you can see, it sort of goes from nothing down to probably around there, 2 inches deep. Now this is a perfect area for birds to come, have a drink, have a wash, get the dust off their feathers. We get blackbirds washing in here, the pigeons, we get the robins, we get the blue tits. They all come down, have a little wash, have a drink. It's a perfect place for them. It's a good depth, and also it's a good place for mammals to come and have a safe drink without the fear of, you know, falling in. Hedgehogs and foxes we get come over the garden, they come and have a drink from here too. And also the emerging amphibians, the frogs, can come out this way, and then they can venture off through the grass and to the safety of the log pile that we've already mentioned. So this is a good area, and obviously because it's a shallow area, when the sun comes out it gets very warm, so the tadpoles like to hang around here when they're first hatched, and they sort of hide themselves under the pebbles. So that is a good area for that. So as the pond goes here, this way, it gets a lot deeper, and in the middle you can just see the rock there. I've actually got almost like a ring of rocks, and they're actually retainers, if you like, for the soil that everything is planted directly into. In the middle of the pond it goes down about 80 to 90 inches, which is a good depth for frogs and toads, hibernation under there. Obviously if the pond freezes over, it's a place they can go. It's a nice safe depth away from predators. So that's how deep it goes in the middle, and again we slope out the banks to shallow areas here. We've got various reeds growing in here. I've got deep growing lily, which the leaves are just starting to come back out for in spring. A lot of this surface, as you can see, is the oxygenating plants, which is perfect for a wildlife pond, which is what you want, because it has no pump giving it running water. It's the oxygenating plants which give the water its oxygen, as the name suggests. Positioned where this wildlife pond is, I do get a nice, almost like a bit of a wind tunnel when the wind picks up, so that gives it a good ripple, that gives it some water movement. Obviously when it rains that refreshes the water, but you're going to need your oxygenating plants in there, your hornworts and the like, which, you know, they sort of keep your pond clean, give it the oxygen, as well as all the other plant life in there, which are, you know, drinking the nutrients out and keeping it as best it can algae free. Obviously leaf debris will fall in, particularly in autumn, and it's just a case of when you see it, pull it out, put it in a little compost pile, which it's the most environmentally friendly way to deal with it, and sort of keep your pond clean that way. So that is what we've got with the planting depths over there. As you can see, I've got all that lovely moss which has developed completely naturally on the logs and the branches I've put around the sides. Again, that's a good habitat. The soil goes under there. The frogs like to bury themselves. They can come in and out of land from that place there. This lovely branch here is the dragonfly perch. Every wildlife pond really should have a dragonfly perch, and obviously, as the name suggests, it attracts dragonflies because they like to come and sit on the end here overlooking the pond. They have a really good field of vision, and they're looking for prey and food, and sometimes just sunning themselves. They also sun themselves on these rocks on the side here, as well as the damselflies, which we get a lot of, which is lovely. So that is just the other end is submerged in soil. Keep it nice and solid. I mean, we do get birds come and land on it as well, obviously for the same thing, having a good little look out. So that is the dragonfly perch. Again, got all these rocks around the outside. I did cut all this back at the same time as the wildflower meadow in November, because it was just getting a little bit overrun, which is why they've got all these sort of chopped ends, but this will all come back. As you can see in the far side there, I've got some more seeds coming through. I sowed a wetland mix amongst the shrubs I've got growing there. Recently planted 4 cuckoo plants in this section, 2 here, 2 over there, which when they grow they were going to attract the orange-tipped butterfly amongst many others. So that'll be lovely to get some orange-tipped butterflies in the garden, something I'd really like to see. So yeah, it's all going to start developing when it sort of gets March, April time. This will come to life, and you know what I'm like, I'll be showing you updates. So the very exciting news that we had in this pond a few days ago was this season's first batch of frogs born, which you may be able to see. I'll get another view in a minute. So this is the 3rd year I've had the pond, my 3rd batch of frogs born, and yeah, it's really good. This is probably the single most reason for me personally why I wanted to get a wildlife pond, was to attract frogs. We have also got 4 newts in here as well, which is really lovely. So have a little look down there, the sun's on it. So that is a lovely batch. They arrived about a month earlier than last year. I didn't get them till probably end of February last year, and I sort of got 3 separate clumps joined together, so potentially I may get some more frog spawn added to that. Again, I'll keep you updated in my videos. So that's great, and that's what it's all about, keeping the life circle going. I'm hoping that the newts don't find it too early and have a little munch on it, but you can't help that. It's an ecosystem, circle of life, survival of the fittest and all that. So hopefully I will get a good little batch of frogs like I did last year. You know, and they run around the garden. I've seen them, they end up in the fish pond as well, in the stream section, and they go hunting around all the wildflower meadows and the log piles. So they keep themselves busy, so they don't just, you know, live in the pond. I see them at night time. They've got a certain couple of little areas, a couple of them, where they like to sit, and sort of 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, they come out and they're waiting for their cat of the night, shall we say. So yeah, they have a little routine. So with regards to the creation of my wildlife pond, obviously the soil was dug out. I dug out to the depths in the middle, like I explained. I had the sloped banks going on. I knew the size I was working within. I put a membrane down first, a protective membrane which keeps the liner safe from stones and twigs and that underneath, and then I put the waterproof liner on, and then another safety membrane, if you like, on top. And it's on top of that last layer of membrane that I put about 150 mil of good quality subsoil all around, and that is what everything is planted into. So there's no pots in here. Everything is natural, everything is planted into soil. It's got a good root, and that way it's taking nutrients directly, you know, from the pond itself. Again, any body of water throughout the year, especially in the summer, is going to lose water due to evaporation. So just keeping an eye on the pond in summer. In a previous video you saw that I'm really into my rainwater harvesting with all the water butts that I have around my property. So it's just a case of topping it up with rainwater. I never put chlorinated tap water into here. Always rainwater, keep it nice and natural. You know, I like to keep this sort of depth of water in this section here. So that's my gauge, if you like, when I know it's getting a little bit low. I look at the pebble beach section, and then I know it's just time to put a bucket or two of rainwater in there, just to keep it at that lovely level. So if you're considering having a wildlife pond in your garden and you think it's something that you're not able to do yourself, please contact me. My number, my email, my details at the end of this video. I've got my website, www.vikinggardencreations.com, all my social media channels which show all my work, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Find me on there, contact me, phone me. I'm based on the south coast of England and Hampshire, but I will travel for pond creations. It's something I love doing, it's my passion. So if it's something you love in your garden, please give me a call.